Welcome to episode 52 of Timm Talk, the podcast about the DC anime universe co-created by Bruce Timm. I'm Chris Lord.
I'm Cameron Dexter.
And we totally forgot to talk about the one-year anniversary of the podcast.
Chris, happy one-year anniversary. I mean, for us, this is right.
Yeah.
It's on our timeline, it's a correct one-year anniversary. For you, the listener... Right? No, I'm off. I'm still wrong.
Yeah, no. But I think that it's very fitting of us that we would forget to talk about it.
Yeah,
yeah, because obviously we're recording this on the 7th. The 5th was the 25-year anniversary of Batman the Animated Series, the premiere. That was also when we launched our podcast 1 year ago. Both of those things we forgot to talk about, even though our podcast actually dropped on that exact day. Well done, us.
It's fine. We were so focused on a 50th anniversary.
That's true. We were so focused on some other bit of self-congratulation. We forgot to do this one, too.
There's only so much self-congratulation that we can do before we just get too heady.
Yeah, and we're basically already there.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was tons of cool articles and stuff that were getting thrown around about the show.
Yeah.
The actual show, not our.
I mean, it would have been really great if we capitalized on that and maybe did some stuff. But,
I tried to post a few things here and there. I kind of forgot about it. I was
fine.
I was busy this week. Yeah, but no, I mean, 25 years of Batman animated series.
I know.
Everyone's like, oh yeah, that was a good show. Like, yeah, we already know that.
It was. If you want to know more about it, we have this podcast.
Yeah, and I'll try and maybe put some stuff up on Twitter and Facebook about some of the cool articles and stuff. Yeah, but I also forgot that I had to look up news, so I just looked it up right now. No Batman-related news. I do have some more Titans casting news, though.
Ooh.
And you're gonna appreciate this. So, do you know the characters Hawk and Dove?
I do.
Yeah, so they're gonna be in it.
They're in a few episodes of JLU.
Yes, so...
Also part of the Brightest Night, or Brightest Day series. That's where I first learned about them.
What's the brightest...
is that Green Lantern.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
My first big comic series was Blackest Night series that ran in, I want to say, late 2008, 2009-ish.
Yeah.
It was followed up by Brightest Day, where they brought back 12 heroes, and Hawk and Dove were two of them.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, they've cast them both.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I'm not familiar with...
Tell me more.
Wait, who's Minka Kelly? She's cast as Dove. Why does the name sound familiar? She's on Friday Night Lights, apparently, but I don't know what else she did.
It's not Taylor Kitsch, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. But the more exciting one, Alan Ritchson is going to be Hawk. Thad.
Oh no! Oh my gosh! What a day! Oh, what a dream!
He is awesome.
Rose from the depths of Atlantis as Aquaman, and now he's worked his way to tier D.
Yeah, exactly. But for
Thad Castle, I'm so excited.
Blue Mountain State, for probably a lot of people haven't seen it, is
so good.
It's actually really, really funny. It's better than it should be.
Absolutely.
I would think, yeah.
Oh man, this started off as a raunchy comedy that was on Spike.
Yeah, on Spike
to give you some perspective on where it was placed.
Isn't it loosely based off of the college football days of Josh Duhamel? Right? Isn't it something like that?
I think so. That sounds
something like
right.
that. It's actually really damn funny.
So good.
And I mean, the best character in it is Alan Ritchson's Thad, who's just this completely over the top, ridiculous human being who's known for eating cereal for breakfast with a martini. Mm-hmm. I've tried it; it's not good.
And what's his drink of choice is it's not a mimosa. It's a...
I don't remember.
It's
been such a long time. I haven't watched the movie yet either, which I got to go do at some point.
It's very average.
Okay, as I assumed it would be.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, this is actually shaping up to be maybe a decent show, and one of us, as we've already established, going to have to get the streaming service for Young Justice. So.
I'm so tired of streaming shit right now, Chris.
I know.
We're going to work this into a segue because we have an update for you on Disney's... Sorry, I don't know if you had more news, but I'm just going to shoehorn myself right in here.
No, that's fine. I love the forced acknowledged segue.
Yeah. We have an update on Disney's streaming service that's going to come out in 2019, and they have confirmed that they are going to that is going to be the sole place for all Marvel and Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
So no word on... I mean, that was still like up in the air if it was just Disney movies or if it was going to extend to the other two properties.
Yeah.
It's not been confirmed. Yes, but they just said movies, so I don't know what's going to happen with... I'm sure Clone Wars, which I think is some of the last remnants of Disney on Netflix, I'm sure that'll be pulled off
That'll
soon.
move over eventually, yeah.
And I'm still just wondering about the Netflix originals.
Yeah, I don't know. Because when's the Disney streaming service launching?
2019.
2019. I don't know if we.
So we're going to be probably either well in the middle of Phase 2 or almost done with Phase 2 by that point.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how much longer they're going to go. I mean, so I'll get to it in Bat Plugs. I finally did watch The Defenders. I mean, one of the things I've been reading is like Netflix finally released some of their like actual like viewer information basically, and they were talking about the fact that very few people have watched all of the shows.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That they like, I think a lot of people would discover like Jessica Jones first, and then that might get them. But like they always kind of, we assume like, oh, okay, well Luke Cage shows up in Jessica Jones, and then that would get people to segue from her show over to his own show. But it didn't work that way. Like
I think there's too long of a gap. Yeah, that was the longest break, right?
Oh, there was a really long gap there. Yeah, so
that was just about a year between those two shows.
Yeah, pretty good amount of time. So I think the flow from one show to the next is not as definitive as everyone would have thought it was. So it'd be interesting to see if they actually end up doing a Defenders again, because that was like an experiment for them. Like, will this actually work? And we don't really know if it did or not. So who knows?
Who knows?
Maybe they won't be having those shows by then.
What I've been wondering,
that off of.
What I've been wondering is what kind of state is Netflix going to be in after all of these kind of lesser streaming services pop up and kind of inevitably fail. Because aside from Disney starting to pull all their stuff, I found out last night that Viacom is starting to pull their stuff. All of the Nickelodeon shows have just been removed from Amazon, which was heartbreaking because that means Avatar is now gone.
Oh no!
I know that I watched that series way too often, and I own it on DVD.
Yeah, I still haven't seen it. I was going to watch it.
It's all gone now.
Oh no!
Including Danny Phantom and Rugrats and all of the all the good stuff. I don't know about Hulu yet.
Well, I mean, a lot of their stuff got pulled from. I don't know about old stuff, but like their deal with Hulu ended a while ago, so like that's why like all the Comedy Central shows stopped showing up on Hulu. New episodes, at least.
Yeah, and I know they had a deal with South Park that I don't know if that's still.
Well, the thing with South Park is Trey Parker and Matt Stone they retained rights, like internet streaming rights.
Okay,
so yeah,
so I don't know what kind of state that's going to be in for now. Which will be interesting because the new season starts back up in 2 weeks, which just kind of came completely out of the blue. Which is great.
Yeah, I'm still way behind on it. So Brandon, say hi.
Hey, everybody.
That's my roommate, Brandon.
Yeah, you are way behind on South Park.
Yeah, I know.
Especially after the last season, it just took it to another level.
I know. I'll get there eventually. I won't though. Yeah. I really won't.
I remember.
Is this something I should know?
Yeah.
Damn it.
The member berries. So yeah, like what is gonna? Can Netflix support itself on original content right now?
I don't know.
Because I mean, they have a few hit shows. Like obviously, everyone cares about House of Cards and Orange is the New Black. But that's kind of it for their big recurring stuff. Like I don't know what's gonna happen when those two shows stop.
I mean, they've been definitely putting their money towards original programming and away from maintaining licenses at this point.
Absolutely. And we also see that with Amazon.
Yeah.
But we also know that Netflix is like $20 million or something like $2 billion in the hole right now.
Oh, they're spending crazy amounts of money.
Yeah. So when they start to lose all these properties and everyone starts to make their own stuff, because also we saw DC, I think we mentioned last week, DC is no longer on Netflix as well. It's just the Batman is left.
Oh, shit, that's right.
Never mind. The Batman was also pulled. It ended on September 1st.
Yeah, because they take all the Justice stuff off.
Yeah, so now the only thing is the CW shows are left. There's no more animated DC shows left on Netflix or anywhere. It's so frustrating.
They're still on Amazon.
Just the Timmverse stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just Batman and Superman.
Yeah, I don't know if Justice League is on there, actually.
It's not.
Oh, no.
Yeah, neither. I don't think Beyond is either.
Oh, shit. Well, I have it all on DVD.
Yeah, so like it's a very hard time to be a cartoon fanatic right now because everything is getting pulled.
Oh my god, how are you going to survive?
I don't know. This past week has been so boring of me just trying to find new shows and nothing clicking.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
Which is fine. I just need to broaden my taste a bit, I guess.
Yeah, maybe we should try watching good shit.
No.
Actually, no, that was mean. You know what? No. That was mean.
I appreciate
you
that criticism.
You have good taste in cartoons. Like, you have shit taste in a lot of things, but your cartoon taste is generally pretty solid.
I mean, it's just because I watch everything.
That's true, actually.
I just know what to talk about.
Nothing slips through.
Right.
So.
I mean, I can obviously talk a whole episode about Super Duper Sumos from 2003, but I won't. I can talk about Cat Scratch, but I won't.
Oh my god.
I can talk about Michael and Og, which I continuously bring up because no one. I just want to have a conversation with someone about Michael and Og.
What?
Mike, Lou, and Og was a Cartoon Network series from 2001 to 2003 about a New York girl named Mike who washes up on an island with like very primitive technology.
Oh, wait a minute.
Maybe I'm wrong about the year, but it's around there.
Are you just used to this point now? This little dumb, just completely like
Yes,
ridiculous look at my face all the time. Just like what?
and it's not just
What?
you though; it's everyone.
Oh, I remember Mike, Lou, and Og. Kind of.
Yeah.
I remember seeing
You remember
it.
me talking about it because I bring it
No.
up so often.
I don't think you've ever brought it up before, actually. That's why I was really confused.
I even brought it up when we were at the Cartoon Network after party at Comic-Con. I even brought it up to them, and no one there could talk about it with me either.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I definitely can't talk about it with
I
you.
can talk about Xiaolin Showdown. I can talk about Ubuntu Lucha. Which I
We
would
can
like
talk
to
about Superman.
No, Chris, no. But before we do that, I do want to go over a quick interview. Since it was the 25th anniversary,
Oh, right.
There was a really interesting interview with Kevin Nolan, who was a freelance artist brought in to do a lot of the character designs for BTOS. Mm-hmm. And it was really awesome to see his perspective and to see kind of the initial sketches of all of these villains, because a lot of them were kind of perfect right out of the out of the bag.
I haven't read the full interview. My friend Jeb posted it on my Facebook page, and I looked at some of the sketches. And they're really cool.
The Batman one is hilarious because he just looks so like tired.
You just
He has like this weird neck angle where he just looks so like just bored and tired of saving Gotham all the time.
it starts to weigh on you. At a certain
It looks
point.
like a cartoon script or
Yeah.
cartoon.
Oh yeah, he's like hunched over. I'm looking
Yeah.
at it right now. He's like, oh my god, the same shit again.
Right, but we also know that Nolan was responsible for Killer Croc's design.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Like the Man Bat and the Killer Croc are like spot on. The Penguin changed a lot as of the Riddler.
Yeah.
His Robin's pretty good. Oh, this is cool. So like his Catwoman became like the second iteration of the Catwoman
Yeah.
with the full black suit. Oh what?
Yeah, so like we see that he was very kind of responsible for a lot of the looks of this series, and it was awesome to hear about where he pulled his inspiration. There was this artist in the '60s named Mobius.
Okay.
If you remember, I plugged this a few months ago.
Oh.
But he wrote World of Adina.
Yeah, that's right.
And Mobius was also taught by Hager. What's his name?
Hergé?
Hergé. Thank
Yeah.
you. The guy who did Tintin. So you can definitely see that kind of that line of style
Yeah,
pulled through the Batman sketches.
you're right. Looking at like these sketches here, this is almost like the missing link between like Hergé and the animated series style.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
It's really cool.
Yeah.
And reading his kind of description of the characters matches up very similarly to what Mobius talks about with his characters. And that was a really cool kind of parallel.
All right. Well, I'll definitely have to
learn
post this
about.
one then on our various platforms for people to look at because it's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Ah.
Now I'm done.
Now you're done. Now we can talk about Superman.
Now we can talk about Superman. If you really want.
I mean, this is going to sound meaner than it intends to be. Are you enjoying these episodes?
I enjoyed the first one more. The second one, I think, is the worst episode so far.
It's not. Yeah, it's not great. I don't know. There are cool ideas here, but I feel like there's a formula at play here, maybe more so than there was in Batman animated series, or maybe I'm just less forgiving of it here than I was then. But like, I feel like basically what happens every episode is some sort of situation is going on. We see that they have like some big crazy death machine. We have set the stakes high, like, oh, this is tough enough that Superman won't be able to just beat it really quickly. He shows up, gets phased for like a second, destroys it really quickly. Repeat.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely that setup right now. I wish they played more into the intellectual side of it. Because with Batman, we did have both villains. We had the brute villains with like Clayface and Killer Croc, and then we had the intellectual villains with Clock King and Riddler. So we got that mix-up of kind of villain.
Yeah.
Right now, I feel like they're still setting up everything, that they're not like pushing their big players, or they're not really pushing any players into like a powerful position, because they're setting. They're still just it's all set up.
And actually, what you said just made me realize too, because I was thinking today about the fact that like Superman is, I feel like, kind of the only superhero with a really well-established like supporting cast. Like in Batman, you basically always have Alfred in some iteration, right? But you don't necessarily always have Robin. You don't necessarily always have Commissioner Gordon and those other things. You always have Alfred. Superman, you pretty much have to have Lois. More or less like Jimmy Perry, the Daily Planet, one or two of his parents, Lex Luthor. You have all these people around him. But what I just realized now is in Batman gets to talk to Alfred about what's going on. So like his challenges, like figuring out the case, were often mental. He had someone to, like a sounding board. Superman doesn't have anyone, I guess, right? He doesn't have anyone to talk to about what he's doing. So he's just doing things, but he's not necessarily musing about what's happening.
Right. And I feel like, especially in these 2 episodes, we had no Lois. Like Lois is the closest he gets.
Yeah.
Where he talks as Clark to her. Because I brought this up 2-ish weeks ago, I want to say, where Lois is basically the Bruce.
Yeah.
And they haven't played off of that since then.
No.
Where she's the one that gets to kind of move the story along because she has all the connections and she's the journalist.
Yeah.
So it makes sense for her to be on scene and to also be researching this stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas now, thing happens, Superman isn't there, bad thing is about to happen, and Superman is there.
Yeah.
And that's especially these 2 episodes. That was very heavy-handed.
Well, and especially because they introduce Dan Turpin and Maggie Sawyer from, like, I guess with Special Crimes Unit or whatever, the SCU. So they're like, yeah, like the formula's
like
really in
the
place.
worst cops I've ever seen.
Yeah, they're not particularly great. Yeah, so the beginning of Tools of the Trade, or the first episode, it's basically Bruno Mannheim has sent some of his henchmen in a tank to go and rob like a gold exchange, and Superman shows up and beats the shit out of the tank. And I love it too because like Dan is like sensitive to the fact. Good old Dan Turpin, he doesn't like the fact that Superman's doing his job for him.
I mean, he's kind of a Bullock. He's kind of like Bullock in this series.
A little bit.
Where he's very, short-tempered, doesn't really like to play by the rules.
No.
Renegade cop.
Yeah.
Doesn't play by anyone's rules.
Loose unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Just goes in guns blazing wherever he goes.
Yeah, I mean, because I like Maggie Sawyer a lot, and Dan, you haven't seen any of this.
I've not.
Okay,
So
yeah.
these are all new people to me.
Yeah, he has a big role later on to play.
Okay.
But yeah, I obviously love like Maggie. She pops up in tons of stuff. But yeah, so in this, Bruno Mannheim like doesn't have the right kind of equipment, so this guy shows up, Kanto.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, I got these cool toys for you." And I love when they're doing the test. And they like shoot a laser at a safe and it melts. And the guy's like, "Oh my god, that's melting like cheap margarine." I'm like, it's very specific. Why wouldn't you just say butter? Like,
No,
it has to be margarine specifically. But yes,
I mean, this was the age when I can't believe it's not butter was becoming popular.
That's
and they just
true.
didn't want to
Actually,
play into that campaign.
Oh man, such a huge deal back in the day.
I hope they were trying to get that sponsor. Yeah. And one of the villains would be like, "It's like melting like butter." And it's
That's
like,
not butter.
I was like, "Wow, I can't believe it's not butter." And they'd all just like pan to the camera and I'll like smile.
I'll smile and wink. Pop a Mentos maybe to get a good idea going.
Yeah. Have a slow Coke.
Oh my god,
sip.
just the slowest drink possible.
Yeah.
Label out.
Maybe Pepsi. This was the 90s. They
That's
were
true.
still a
Yeah,
contender
Pepsi was
back
trying
then.
real hard back then. Yeah, they're still losing that battle. But yeah, so the guys go and test out all the newfound toys on a train. I don't even remember what they were robbing. It doesn't really matter, does it? There's nothing important.
Very, very poorly constructed train and kind of train tracks.
Yeah, there's kind of a cool moment though because like Clark is walking through the Daily Planet and like Lois is racing off to go get into an elevator and be like, "Oh, like I got to get down. Like someone's attacking this train." And an elevator is being worked on, like so it's just an open elevator shaft, and like Clark just kind of casually like drops down into it and then swoops out through the door on the bottom.
Yeah,
it's a cool little moment.
Yeah, but again, Lois has like 3 lines in this episode.
Yeah.
They're in the very beginning where they're in the parked car.
Yeah, and
she's
runs
like,
off.
"I'm going to figure this out on my own," and then she runs, and then the exact same scene or same setup, same situation. That's the word. Where she's like, "Oh, something's happening. I gotta go see what's happening."
Yeah,
it's like, no, you can give so much more context. Like, talk about Mannheim a little bit. Give some story. Give some kind of background to him because right now he's just the flat villain.
Yeah, he's very generic.
Like even, I mean, maybe not Thorne, but even the Batman gangsters had a little bit of history to them.
Oh yeah, like Cromwell.
Cromwell. That's not his name.
Not actually Cromwell.
So we just continued to call him.
Yeah, I know. I do see what you mean. Yeah, it's a little. I feel like there's good stuff in here, but the episodes themselves I don't find super engaging. Like, I find myself tuning out during the battle sequences and taking fewer notes just because it's just a generic fight scene or Superman beats the shit out of some robot or something like that.
Mm-hmm. I was happily caught off guard with the like plasma hands or whatever they are.
Oh yeah, it's like you wear these gloves and then it projects, not unlike like a Green Lantern construct.
It's very much. I think that's why I liked it so much.
This probably makes sense. Yeah,
Green Lantern construct. There's a Star Fox villain named Andros.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, from Star Fox 64. Reminded me a lot of him too.
Yeah, wasn't he literally just like the two giant set of hands?
He was like a monkey's head with two floating hands. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just only vaguely recall little snippets.
Yeah. Imagine like a 64-bit 1960s Planet of the Apes head with two floating hands.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Zaius' head, to be more specific. Because he's the only Planet of the Apes person I can remember right now.
Yeah. Hey, that's pretty good, though.
Yeah.
So, do a barrel roll.
I mean, I only remember because of The Simpsons did the Planet of the Apes musical joke.
Dr. Zaius.
Dr. Zaius. I'll never forget his name now. When they said his name in the War of the Planet, I think they said it in War of the Planet of the Apes. They said something, I think they said his name.
There's not a Dr. Zaius in that.
Maybe I was expecting there to be. Not just seeing that through the entire
No, because they referenced Nova, which was the girl from the
okay.
original, but I don't think there's a Dr. Zaius ever. There's Maurice.
Maurice.
Good old Maurice.
But you know, the hands, so when they're robbing the train, I thought he was going to like stop it with the gloves.
Yeah,
and
that would make more sense.
He's like smashed it.
Yeah, he just broke the elevated train platform.
And then the train had like no like bad damage. It just kind of slid down and stopped on the ground.
I'm surprised people didn't just literally walk off and like, oh, okay, well, I guess we're here now.
But they steal something.
I forget what they
Superman
steal.
comes, I assume money.
Yeah, probably.
Gold.
Yeah. And how do they... Oh, he gets electrocuted. Because I made a note about that, because I love it when Superman gets electrocuted, because it's one of the few ways to slow him down.
Yeah. So he's fighting one of the villains, and the villain shoots like an electric tower.
Oh, that's right. It
has
shoots him into the electric tower. Yeah, he has to pick it up. Oh, that's right. Picking up from taking out another train.
Yeah. Trains.
It's right around the corner. Yeah, and so they get
Bruce
away.
Timm loves his trains.
Yeah, and then it's the press are like giving Dan shit about... Oh, no, it's Maggie's like, oh, I want to bring Superman in this officially. He's like, no, this is my collar. And he's like being this total little petulant child about the whole thing. Mm-hmm. So then he goes off to figure... He like hands in his badge. Not really.
Yeah.
To go figure it out for himself. He goes to Mannheim's house and... so that must have been a surprise for you when the boom tube opened.
Okay, that's the word.
Yeah.
I kept calling it the Zeta Tube. That doesn't exist yet, right?
What is that? Is that part of this universe?
I don't think that comes in until like the late 2000s in comics. I could be wrong. Someone please correct me.
Okay.
But Zeta technology is what they use in Young Justice. That's all I remember.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But they also still call it boom tubes.
Yeah, the mother box opens the boom tubes to Apocalypse.
Yeah.
So that's what this guy is.
Mm-hmm.
So you probably weren't expecting that, huh? Because you don't.
I was not. I didn't know Kento was a god.
Yeah.
A new god of Apocalypse.
Yeah. So he's obviously there testing out some equipment here to see if
it'll beat Superman.
They'll beat Superman. So.
So he drops off one more weapon. He said it's going to stop whoever you shoot it with.
Oh yeah, and so they use it on Superman, and
it doesn't stop him.
Phases him slightly.
Yeah. Like we said at the beginning, that's the problem. It'll phase him. It'll slow him down for a minute.
Yep.
And then it'll stop him.
Yeah. There was one more cool shot in there where like they're in the warehouse and it's really dark and Superman uses his heat vision. I think he destroys the gun, right? With
that was
vision.
awesome.
And he's just standing there. It's literally just a still shot of him standing there with the glowing red eyes, like in shadow.
They did a lot of shots with him in shadow in this episode because even in the beginning when he breaks into the tank, you have the view from the kind of the criminal.
Oh right, them looking out. Yeah, and him in silhouette. Yeah. So they do some good backlit. They do some good shots in here.
Mm-hmm. I think it's this like. In my mind, they were missing drawing Batman.
So there's like
we just miss shadows.
Can we just do some Superman
Can we just have him in the corner for a minute?
I know, a little red sky maybe going on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but basically they break up Mannheim's ring, and Kanto goes to take a boom tube back home, and Bruno sneaks in after him, and then he's walking along the pits of Apocalypse, and we meet Darkseid.
Yeah.
I also love that they finally got Kanto in his like comic accurate costume.
Oh yeah, the very like Renaissance fair,
super ridiculous looking. 'Cause I looked him up to see if there's anything interesting about him. There's little bits and pieces, not much, but like yeah, I mean that's what his comic costume looks.
He
like.
looks very much like God, who has the rings, the Infinity Rings?
Thanos?
After Thanos loses the gauntlet, there's another story about the Infinity Rings. And they tease him at the end of Adam Warlock.
Oh, Adam Warlock.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Adam Strange is also DC.
Okay, yeah, I can see that there. Yeah, there's some.
Yeah, he looks similar to Adam Warlock.
Yeah, I looked him up to see if there's anything interesting about him. Not much. He's actually mostly a Mr. Miracle villain, which kind of makes sense because Mr. Miracle is all based off of Apocalypse. But his quote unquote origin is like kind of ridiculous. So he's like an assassin. He's a weapons expert. But his original name wasn't Kanto. It was Eluthan. And there was another assassin named Kanto. Okay. So Eluthan tries to steal weapons from Kanto, and when he gets caught, he gets sent to Renaissance-era Earth as punishment. So mind you, his punishment was getting caught, not trying to steal something, right? And when he's there, he like falls in love with this girl, but then Kanto comes and kills her, but then Ithulin defeats him in battle, and then Darkseid kills him, because he's like, you fucked up.
Yeah.
And now, then that guy becomes the new Kanto. And so when he goes back to Apocalypse, like, oh, I'm going to dress like a Renaissance guy. Because why the fuck not?
Why not?
Yeah. Kind of ridiculous.
It's kind of all over the place.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it makes sense they would have chosen him for this episode, though, because, like, he is a weapons specialist.
Yeah.
So, did you like that this was how they were trying to set up Darkseid?
Kind of. It was very similar to how they set up Roz. And,
I guess it was.
But the Roz episode was just better.
Yeah, it kind of was better, yeah.
Even though it was a Count Vertigo episode, it was still better.
Yeah.
I mean, we did have Talia, and Talia does carry that episode a lot.
Yeah.
But no, it was interesting. It was, like I said, they didn't really try something new.
No.
Because it is just a re-script of Roz.
Yeah. I mean, I like that they're planting these seeds along the way, right? It's like they had that not quite post-credit sting at the end of the pilot with Brainiac, and like they're dropping hints along the way. They're building to larger stories. I don't know. I'm not finding the individual episodes on this quite as good, and maybe part of that is it's a different creative staff behind it at the end of the day, right? I mean, you get Paul Dini coming in doing a few episodes like the pilot and like the Lobo episodes where he's so great with character and with dialogue. But I think a lot of the rest of it is kind of generic.
Yeah. And I brought up this question at the beginning of the series of why is Batman so much more, is so much better received now, seeing as we did just have a big celebration for the 25th anniversary. Why does everyone remember that show and still talk about that show and not talk about this show? And I think we're starting to see why.
Yeah, because I think this is a little bit more forgettable. And I think it's riding off of the success of the previous show, but it's not, as of yet, it's not doing things to then push itself into new, cool, interesting spaces.
Right.
And if I recall, it gets better as we go along, and certainly by the time we like bring Batman back in, we have the new Batman Adventures, those overlap stories, those get pretty good.
But I mean, this is kind of the dead period for a lot of people, because everyone obviously remembers BTOS, everyone obviously remembers Beyond.
Yeah.
And then Justice League and JLU.
Yeah.
So like this series and the next series are mostly forgotten by general audiences.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So it's nice to kind of see why.
Yeah.
Or we're starting to see why.
I'm trying to remember when is it season, because these are the last two episodes of season 1. I'm trying to remember if it's season 2 or season 3. I think it might be season 2 actually that Batman comes back. Let me attempt to bring up my schedule here. But any other things to talk about on this guy, or should we mention our sponsor this week?
What was the one little note that I found? The drawing of Turpin is supposed to resemble Jack Kirby. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, that makes sense.
He looked a little bit more like Scorsese to me, but you know.
Yeah, he's got this big old eyebrows.
Yeah,
that would do it. Yeah, because I looked up who does the voice of it. So it's Joseph. Well, I mean, it's spelled like Bologna. I don't think his last name's actually pronounced Bologna, but like Joseph Bologna was the voice of Dan. If you like see the picture of him, you'll recognize him. He's popped up in tons of stuff.
Yeah.
I couldn't, like, off the top of my head,
I can't place him anywhere.
Place him specifically. Oh, he's a voice in Ice Age: The Meltdown. That's not going to help us very much.
Oh,
No,
that guy.
I know that guy. Whatever. But did you happen to realize who the voice of Maggie Sawyer is?
I did not.
So it's Joanna Cassidy, who's been in a number of things, including a Blade Runner, but she was also Dolores in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Dolores.
Yeah.
Love that movie.
Oh God, I know. It's so spectacular.
It's so good.
Yeah. But I'm glad they brought them in though.
Yeah. This I also did read. This is the episode that introduces, besides the pilot, introduces the most new elements into Superman.
Oh, it makes sense.
It's the first time we kind of see Intergang, because we also know that Intergang is responsible for Toyman. They're the ones that killed...
Yeah, Bruno Mannheim was in that episode, but I don't think they actually ever mentioned the group Intergang then, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I think they might mention that later, and I just read ahead.
Yeah, maybe. I don't remember.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Spoilers for a 20-year-old cartoon.
Yeah, so it's our first appearance of Intergang, our first appearance of SCU, which I had to look up because I couldn't remember what that acronym was. It's the Special Crime Unit.
Okay, yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
Turpin and Sawyer, and then Apocalypse and Darkseid. So we have a lot to look forward to from this episode.
Yeah, this almost felt like it was designed to be the finale, like the season finale.
Yeah.
It's like it's a bigger moment ending on Darkseid than it is ending on Parasite laughing in a cell, which we'll get to in the next episode. But
what's our sponsor, Chris?
Our sponsor this week, you want to get to it, I can tell. It's This American Lie.
Oh, Micah.
Yeah, exactly. Micah and Jordan. And so it's the idea of like This American Life, but a spoof on that where they do like a fully improvised hour of quote unquote like NPR conversation. So here's the plug for that.
Have you ever been listening to NPR and thought to yourself, gosh, I love the human interest aspect, the dulcet voices of the hosts, the promise of totes, but I just hate how true it all is. That's where we come in. It's This American Lie, an hour of improvised NPR. We're a lot like that other show, but we make it all up in front of a live audience every second Saturday at the Nerdist School stage. Find show and ticket information at nerdistschool.com or catch the podcast on the Nerdist School Network. Search for us on iTunes.
Wow. So I do my best Owen Wilson impersonation.
Wow. That's good.
Did you watch the lightsaber video?
I did. I couldn't watch it for very long because it's the same thing over and over again. But
I don't care.
Yeah.
I could watch that for hours.
For those of you who haven't seen it, they just replaced all the lightsaber sound effects with Owen Wilson going, wow.
It's so good.
It's really good.
There's like a 4-minute version. The first one was the Phantom Menace scene.
Yeah.
And they just did Dooku versus Anakin from episode 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's so good.
So ridiculous.
So good.
Yeah. So now we're on to Two's a Crowd, the reappearance of Parasite.
I got excited. Like when they're like, I know someone that can help us with this. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Parasite's going to come back. But then I also had this idea. Do we deserve a villain coming back already? Because we had in Batman, we obviously had Harley come back as a good person.
Yeah.
They teased Poison Ivy being a good person, then at the end being evil. Like
I think so.
But this was deep into season 2 at that point. We'd had a few episodes with these villains by that point.
I feel like we had repeat villains. Well, I mean, season 1 of Batman was 65 episodes. That's one thing. But I mean, I feel like we were getting repeat villains pretty quickly on even.
Not repeat, but transitioning them to good guys.
See, I don't know if I would go so far as even to say he was transitioned to a good guy, because like the way they portray him more in this is that he is just kind of a slacker.
Yeah.
Right? Like even when they go in to ask him for help, he just wants TV. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he doesn't have these big grand malicious plans really in place. He's just like whatever. He's just doing his own thing.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting idea. I mean, the overall plot here is basically that there's this other villain who has a bomb hidden somewhere in the city.
Yeah, Earl something.
Graves or something like that. Yeah, and he
former
gets
Star
Garver.
Labs.
Yeah, former Star Labs. He gets basically knocked unconscious when Superman tries to apprehend him, and they have to find the bomb, so they bring in Parasite to just touch the guy and get his memories. But he overabsorbs Garver and like Garver
This
kind
was
of
stupid, Chris. This was so stupid.
It's kind of dumb, but that's also actually an element of Parasite's character. Like
Is it?
I think I
Alright.
mentioned it
I'll
in
let
his introduction. I think it's a clever idea, and I think it's interesting to have the two kind of wrestling. It's interesting, but it is also really stupid. I'm okay with acknowledging that.
I feel very like, what's the word that I'm looking for? I can't. I
disappointed.
No, it's on
disgruntled,
me.
Annoyed.
Because I usually love
Whimsical.
these plots. In a lot of cartoons, there's a lot of like the astro projection bullshit,
Yeah.
where someone will leave their body and enter the mind of someone else, and they'll fight over control.
Yeah.
And like I generally enjoy that storyline.
Mm-hmm.
And Jackie Chan Adventures specifically, do you remember that show?
Yeah.
There's the talismans. The sheep talisman is the astral projection talisman.
Yeah.
Jade goes into people's minds. I love those stories. I think they're so fun and fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
And then like all the Dead Man episodes of
Young
Brave and the
Justice?
Bold.
Oh, Brave and the Bold, okay,
And
yeah.
and
is he in Young Justice?
I don't think so. Maybe
Oh.
in one. I don't know. I don't think
remember.
so. He's in one episode of JLU, right?
Am I
wrong?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because doesn't he jumps? Doesn't he jump into Batman's body and then shoot someone?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, because then like when he comes back out, like Batman is really fucking pissed.
Yeah. I don't remember anything else about that episode.
I don't know. I don't remember which episode.
He's
that
in a
is.
good number of. He's in a good number of.
He's a great character.
Brave and the Bold episodes. Yeah,
Okay.
but I love those. And this was just so dumb. It was so bad.
yeah.
And I don't know. Disappointed, Chris.
Okay.
Chris, I'm disappointed.
You're allowed to be disappointed, Cameron. It's okay. We'll get on to better episodes eventually. It's fine. Shh, it's fine. It's fine.
I'm done. I quit the podcast.
Yeah.
1 year. I'm out.
You had you on one.
This
year,
was it.
1 year contract.
This was the last
You're
straw,
out of it.
Chris.
It's just me talking to myself now the whole rest of the time. I feel like you're constantly threatening to quit.
It's gonna be my thing.
Yeah. I love we're far enough into this now that there's less effort to continue than it is to stop.
Yeah.
Thank God. Yeah.
So yeah, Earl has a bomb in the city. He wants $50 million because he's a greedy piece of shit.
Yeah.
Never start that high at Earl.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in this that were just kind of, like, even right from the beginning, it was kind of silly. Like they're storming into his house, and like so they drive like the battering ram tank into it, and it just crumples because the whole house is in reinforced. That's kind of clever.
I was expecting
but-
like a Looney Tunes sound effect.
Yeah, wah,
when you
wah,
see it,
wah,
like 'cause it's
yeah.
like a. I don't want to say flaccid penis, but that's
But
what
it looks like
definitely
an
was.
elephant trunk at that
yeah,
point.
That,
Like,
that's
it's-
that's a better
Let's
analogy.
go with that instead. But I love the battering ram doesn't work, and they're just gonna fire
it.
bullets, just general like standard issue bullets. In the
Like I
thing.
said, the SCU does nothing.
No, they don't really do anything.
I
so-
understand why all the media makes fun of them for just letting Superman handle it.
Yeah, because Superman shows up and he goes in and handles it, and so he eventually works his way into this house, and he goes upstairs to confront Garver or whatever.
Earl.
Yeah, and
Seems less threatening
This
when
like
it's Earl.
massive machine press like drops down from the ceiling. Where was that? Because mind you, like from the outside, that was like a one-story house with maybe like a pitched roof.
Mm-hmm.
Superman goes inside. The other guy is already upstairs, and then somehow there's room for about like 20 feet of mechanical press above that.
Yeah, it's a magic house.
Yeah, and like, why would you think that was a good idea? Like, what? I think this is part of my problem too, is that there's so many things that are in these episodes that feel like they were written in there just because it's Superman.
Yeah.
But it's like in Batman, it always felt organic to the characters, organic to the world, and here it's like there's no reason for him to have a giant machine press in the ceiling of his house, except for the fact that someday Superman might stand right there.
Yeah.
And even then, it's not really going to kill him.
Well, I mean, I think it's this version.
Oh, hello, helicopter.
I'll wait for that to pass. It's this series' utility belt. Like with Batman, he always had the right thing to get out of the situation.
Yeah.
With Superman, and I'm trying to give them a little bit of a little bit of support. Where Superman, I don't think he himself knows the extent of his power. So when he's sharing, because
that's fair.
We know that this is a former Star Labs employee, which is why he knows that he can't see through lead.
Yeah.
I don't expect that to be just general knowledge at this point.
I didn't even think about that. It's a good point.
Yeah.
That's the only reason he would know that.
And I think that from what he saw while he was at Star Labs working with Superman, he thinks this is the extent of Superman's strength.
Yeah, I guess.
And so it's the same with Batman. They think that's all he has in his utility belt.
Yeah.
But it's not. He has, X still there.
Yeah.
Superman still can go that much stronger because he doesn't know the extent of his power. So it's that whole setup where, like, you can't beat what you don't know. That's dumb.
Yeah.
That's not where I wanted to end that comment, but
I don't know. It doesn't really feel like it works very well.
He breaks out of the machine. When he pushes it up through the ceiling, a cable comes and just bitch slaps his Earl into a concussion.
Yeah, and sets off this whole crazy plot line. I feel like, does much else really happen?
No.
Okay, so I did have one question for you. So, because when we last saw Parasite, so you guys don't have to worry about being super quiet. We're like super laid back about the podcast. I'm constantly like getting up and leaving in the middle of it, so it's okay. Yeah. Yeah. Have fun, guys. Oh, we get Yogi. Come here, buddy. This is really exciting for you guys. I'm like calling my roommate's dog, but he's adorable and I love him. Anyways, so when we last left Parasite, he was comatose and he had remembered Superman and Clark, like the secret identity there.
Yeah.
So when we meet him again now, he's conscious again, and he just has forgotten about Superman.
I just don't think he cares about anything anymore.
I guess, and I mean, they do kind of explain that he loses powers over time. Maybe the same thing. He also loses memories.
Maybe
it's possible. I don't really know how that works. I just thought that was kind of odd. They didn't really bother to address that at all. But yeah, like Garver and Rudy are kind of constantly battling out, and Garver's like, "Oh, like here, if we work together on this, we can actually get more done," because he's like far more maniacal than Rudy, who's just kind of like, whatever, I just want to do my thing. I do love it too. So Garver, he sends Superman to go find the bomb, which is in the bowels of a sunken ship out in the harbor. Hey, bud. What?
Yeah,
excuse just to introduce Superman's diving suit.
I think so. I did love those colors though.
Yeah, and I remember that was an actual toy. I didn't have that one. I had the spacesuit toy. I didn't have the the diving suit toy. But it's so ridiculous because we get down there and obviously the bomb's not there. But also I love that the ship just starts like capsizing for no reason whatsoever.
Right. I was expecting honestly, I wanted a shark. I don't know why I wanted a shark, but I just really wanted a shark at that point.
I'm surprised there wasn't one. Like, there absolutely should have been
even
one
just
down there.
A robotic shark.
Yeah.
Like that's honestly what I wanted. I wanted because you see everything start to shift and move, and you're not sure what's happening. You see the boxes fall over first.
Yeah.
And I was hoping something was going to be behind it.
Yeah, there's no reason for the whole thing to start falling apart like that, which is kind of stupid.
And also, it's very hard to make underwater slow motion movement
exciting.
Not just exciting, but feel a threat, especially when there's no music playing behind it. Like that's what I caught myself wondering is like, what am I listening to? Because you don't hear a song until Superman saves Sawyer.
Yeah, and that's kind of a good moment. Like grabs her and like shoots out of the water super fast. But yeah, I mean, I'm always talking about the James Bond podcast, but they're constantly complaining about the Bond movies where he goes like scuba diving. Like it's like Thunderball is like super boring because like the whole climax is just like guys' mask getting ripped off and hoses getting cut, and then and Tomorrow Never Dies. Like this exact same thing happens. Like they go to a sunken ship and then just randomly start sinking because it has to like they have to do something to add tension in that moment.
Yeah,
because there's nothing otherwise there. Also, does Superman really need to be in a diving suit?
I mean, I guess if he can't breathe in space, he can't breathe underwater.
But he can like hold his breath. I mean, I guess if he had to communicate, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But I feel like even when we like get Aquaman and we get that sort of stuff in Justice League, I think they just do like a little like mask. They don't bother in a full fucking diving suit anymore.
But I did love those colors. It's like a nice black, purple, and yellow.
It's really
suit.
It's so
cool. It looks like
a
Burger King toy.
It really does, though.
And I loved it.
There probably is a Burger King toy out there of it. I'm sure there was from back in the day. But yeah, so eventually, like Rudy escapes.
They merge minds.
And he escapes.
Strength.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's dumb. Chris, this is so dumb.
I know. So they go out to like some like weird abandoned subway station. There's a big ass hole because Superman has to throw the bomb down there.
So dumb.
Because apparently it was going to do a lot of damage up on the surface, but somehow throwing it down a hole makes it do less damage.
Exactly. How did Superman know that this wasn't like some kind of architectural holding point for the city?
Well, and my whole thing.
This is a bomb that can blow up a square mile.
Yeah. And why didn't he just fly it out of there?
Right.
Like, this is the thing I don't... Like, Superman can move so fast.
My thinking out of that was that Parasite did drain some of his power at that point, so he couldn't, like, reach his full speed and get out of there in time.
But I meant even...
But he also had 2 fucking minutes left.
I meant even when he first shows up and finds the bomb, like... So he goes and disarms it. Like, if I were him, I would go in, literally grab it, and fly out of there as fast as possible. Like, fast as I possibly can.
I don't think he...
And just throw it into space.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he was trying to be... I mean, he's a Boy Scout, obviously.
Yeah.
So he drops the money, the $50 million.
Oh, yeah.
Drops the money, and then while he's doing this, Parasite is kind of over a speaker, which also doesn't make sense because he's just under under a single layer of dirt.
I know. It's
this is dumb. This is a dumb episode.
It's a dumb episode, and then of course, eventually, like Rudy fights back and like regains control and gets knocked out, and then Garver, Grapple, whatever the fuck his name is, goes back to prison, and the whole episode ends with Rudy. I can't talk.
It's because we're frustrated.
You talk instead.
There's so Parasite's in the ground as Superman goes to
we don't have to go
deactivate
into
the
details.
bomb.
It's all shit.
I'm going to go over this so people understand why I'm frustrated. Parasite is just under... Like, Superman is standing on top of Parasite.
Yeah.
He grabs his hand, starts to absorb his power. Superman kind of stops him. They have a little tussle.
Yeah.
So what I don't understand is the white parts of Parasite's costume skin...
I think... Is it implied he can only absorb through his hands?
It looks like it.
Yeah.
It seems like it. Okay.
I think that's it. I think that's like the idea here. I don't think that's always the case with Parasite. I know Yogi's getting real excited with one of his toys over there.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just, I guess
it was interesting.
Yeah.
So then, Superman grabs the bomb, throws it down the hole.
And like basically, Parasite gets knocked out basically by the explosion.
Yeah,
because he gets caught in the blast.
And this was another thing that really upset me. That's why I'm bringing this point up. Superman and Parasite fall into the hole. Parasite has taken enough of Superman's powers that I don't think he can fly anymore.
Yeah, but neither can Superman anymore.
And yeah, that's right. Neither of them have enough strength to fly. Superman sees Parasite as beneath him, and he's like, "Nah, I'm just going to save myself." It's very much
odd.
the Nora situation again.
Yeah, he always saves people. That's his whole thing.
That's his thing.
Like it's like that is the character flaw that would put him in situations like this, is that he would go to save someone when he really should save himself and like not get his powers absorbed. It was kind of odd.
Yeah. Whatever. It's a dumb episode. It ends, what you were trying to say, it ends with Earl being carted off to jail, and we see Parasite watching his TV.
He got his TV. It's all he really wanted was TV. And that's where they decided to end the first season of Superman, was on Parasite laughing
ending
at itself.
on the fucking werewolf episode.
Yeah, it's pretty much it. I figured we weren't going to go into details on Darkseid this time. We'll wait for like a full episode on him. I did do a little research on Dan Turpin and Maggie Sawyer, though.
Okay. Please enlighten me.
There's actually, like, I thought Dan would be a more major character in the comics. He's really not. Like, the only thing I found that's kind of interesting about him was he was originally introduced in the 40s as a character named Brooklyn, who's like a boy commando or something like that.
Okay.
And then later retconned to be named Dan Turpin, and then he became like a cop in the 70s. So when he was originally created by Joe Simon and Jack Kirby, and then Jack Kirby later reintroduced him as Dan Turpin. Like, I thought he would have like some major story arcs, stuff like that. There's some little things, but nothing particularly interesting, other than he always had romantic feelings for Maggie Sawyer, but that didn't work out because she's a lesbian. So
who knew?
Yeah, I mean, most people knew that.
I didn't.
You didn't know that about her?
I did not.
Yeah, well, because one of her most famous story arcs is she dates Batwoman and the Batwoman run. And I've actually read that run. It's really, really good. Like, it's amazing. It's the run by J.H. Williams and W. Hayden Blackman. The problem, though, is they left before they got a chance to really end it properly. They basically like left one issue before everything got wrapped up. So because so in the comic, Maggie and Kate Kane, Batwoman, get engaged, but then DC wouldn't let them get married, and they said it was because like superheroes aren't supposed to have happy lives.
I remember this drama going on in the world.
Yeah, just kind of a dumb thing. Like that can. Like, one of the best parts of that story was that, like, they were in, like, a real relationship. And that, Maggie was trying to find a way to make it work, even though, her, fiance was out every night beating the shit out of criminals and being in danger and stuff. So it just kind of sucks because, like, literally it ends this their last issue ends in this like really badass moment where basically Batwoman is gonna like fight Batman. Like it's been running along. We get to this point where she's like gonna do what she has to, and then they left. And so I've heard that it's not even worth picking up like the next comic to figure out what happens because it's just just a total letdown.
Because this was right before New 52, right?
No, this was after. This,
okay.
No, this was part of the New 52.
Okay.
They introduced her prior to that, and then they kept her around and gave her own solo series.
Because I remember when the LGBT was like really upset with DC. Because the first issue of New 52, we learned that Alan Scott is gay.
Yeah, so they
and his boyfriend had just proposed. And then the next page is a giant explosion.
I know.
And the fiance died.
I forgot about that. I just remember
immediately.
I just remember people being like, "Why the hell would you pick Alan Scott, the Golden Age Green Lantern, whose weakness is wood, to be retconned as a gay character?"
Love it.
That's just so
loved it.
It's so stupid. Yeah. No, because I remember the time like DC was making some dumb decisions in terms of the like LGBT characters, and like Marvel was like, "No, we got this."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Marvel's had it since like the 80s. I want to say.
Well, yeah, I mean, is it North Star? I think it's like the mutants. Like at the time that they like DC wouldn't let Batwoman and Maggie get married. North Star got married in the comics.
Yeah,
yeah, I know. I've actually been meaning to go read because Iceman is now gay and like he has this
Bobby.
I know he's got a solo series about him like going out and dating, and I guess he uses like the Marvel equivalent of Grindr. I'm very curious to go read that at some point and see what it's like.
I couldn't even imagine.
Superhero Grindr.
Sounds amazing.
I know. Maybe you'd actually have interesting conversations with people. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we're talking about in terms of Maggie. Not really. Like she did get married to a guy like way back in the past and had a kid who like pops up in some stuff. But the ex-husband maintains sole custody. That's part of the Batwoman story arc too. You should read this Batman. I actually have all that here. You should read that at some point. It's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go, Maggie Sawyer.
Maggie Sawyer.
Yeah.
Season 1 of Superman.
Exactly.
We did it.
Yeah. What you plugging this week?
What am I plugging? I watched a very interesting movie the other day. It was fine.
What movie?
It was called Leap, and it's the new animated film.
Okay, yeah.
And it's animation-wise, it's a piece of garbage.
Is it really bad?
It's one of the it looks like a college student film.
Okay.
Through most of it. Mm-hmm. I will say it does have redeeming factors.
Okay.
Like I remember plugging Boss Baby a few months ago, probably back in like February or March.
Yeah.
And like that had some animation problems, but it was the DreamWorks style. Like DreamWorks has a very consistent style of animation.
They do.
This was so in a lot of 3D programs they have kind of basic characters set up for you already, so you can just practice animation and rigging. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these characters felt like that.
Okay,
like it was just there was something missing still in the style of it. But to redeem itself, if you don't know, Leap is about an orphan girl and her kind of like an orphan boy. They were in the same orphanage together. They leave and they go to Paris in the mid 1800s or the mid 19th century, so she can be a ballerina.
Okay.
And as the redeeming factor, the dance scenes in this are great.
Okay, so it's got something going for it at least.
Yeah, and instead of focusing on like cinematography, like you see a lot of dancing films do, it's basically just a wide shot through the whole scene, and you get to see the entire animation, or the entire kind of setup.
Okay,
which is nice. It's kind of a different change. Again, like I said, it feels like a college film, but it was great, and it was very pretty. Mm-hmm. The story's okay. It's very young.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know how I felt. I felt very weird at the end of that movie because it just looked like garbage. The story was okay, but like the last dance scene was really cool.
You know what you could try doing is maybe go seeing not kids films in the theater.
When they make a non-kids animated film, I'll go see it, Chris.
I mean, that's fair. It is animated. I can't hold you against
this is my thought at the end of it. This would have been an amazing TV movie.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember this movie on Cartoon Network. Every Halloween, they had these two movies called Scary Godmother.
Vaguely.
Okay. Again, horribly animated.
Okay.
It looks, but this was, I want to say 2004 was when it first came out. It looks like garbage,
Okay.
and it still does.
That hasn't changed. The animation hasn't gotten better.
No, there's no nostalgia factor for the
Yeah.
animation, but like the stories are cute, and I kind of put this in the same realm of those movies.
Okay.
Like it's a cute movie, and if it was a TV movie, like if this was just straight on like Amazon or Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network or Disney, it would have been amazing. I would have loved it. But since it was a theatrical release, I think that I had an expectation for it that it just didn't come even close to.
Oh, okay. No, that sucks.
But watch it when it comes to streaming services. Maybe when Netflix has it.
Yeah.
But it'll probably be pulled immediately.
Such enthusiasm for that movie.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nope. What are you watching? Reading, listening to?
Finally watched The Defenders.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How subpar did you think it was?
I wouldn't even call it subpar. Like it's fine. Like I thought it was pretty good. I think that the last episode they made some just really weird, dumb decisions, and I feel like this.
The last episode?
I mean, but that's where it became most apparent. Like
Okay.
all the way along, I think for me, they did a good job for the most part of like having the characters like banter off each other, and I thought like the way they kind of met each other was done pretty organically. And just honestly, anytime they were all on screen together, it was just cool.
Yeah.
To see.
It felt really cool.
And they had a good dynamic, and I think a lot of the dialogue was actually pretty well done. But just by the time they got to the end, I feel like they kind of wrote themselves into some weird spots, and I don't know. It started to taper out there for me, and especially the very end of it, there's some really dumb stuff. But I mean, for what it was, I thought it was fine.
I very much appreciated that it was an 8-episode season.
I absolutely did too.
If they tried to stretch it out another episode, it would have just gone so far downhill.
No. I think they made a good call on that. And I would love for them to make all the rest of their stuff 8 episodes. I don't think they will. They'll probably keep doing 13. I don't know. I'm losing steam a little bit on the Marvel Netflix stuff.
I think it's been pretty downhill since Jessica Jones. I still think that's the best one.
Well, I thought Daredevil's season 2 was pretty solid.
It was. I just don't think it lived up to Jessica. Jessica was the only one that I appreciated having 13 episodes for.
I felt like even that one for me got a little dragged out. But yeah, I still think Daredevil and Jessica Jones are like their strongest properties. I think Mike Coulter as Luke Cage is amazing. He was great in Jessica Jones. He's good in his own show too. Just that the second half of that show is not that fantastic, and they don't know what to do with fucking Iron Fist. I love that in this, they at least start to acknowledge that he's just kind of a whiny bitch through the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
And they kind of like poke fun at him a little bit and like incorporate it. There's so many dogs, helicopters, so much going on around.
Why did you move, Chris?
I know. Just to make your
we
life...
had a good thing going.
Just to make your life more difficult. That's the only reason I did it. I don't know. I mean, I'll probably watch The Punisher, but if it's kind of meh, I might just stop.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I never finished Iron Fist because
it's fine.
Really watery, and I was just kind of tired.
It's fine. Yeah, they should just had him actually like fight the dragon, but whatever.
Yeah, I know. There was a joke. There was some reviewer that I listened to. It's like for all these stories that he talks about fighting the dragon and all the flashbacks we had in Iron Fist, we never saw him fight that fucking dragon.
No, we saw like his plane crash like so many goddamn times.
Oh my god, I was so tired of that.
I know, and I think Defenders was better than Iron Fist
because we actually saw the dragon.
We actually saw the, sort of.
It was a skeleton, but it was still a dragon.
It's fine for what it is.
It's fine.
It was pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I watched this week. So
all right.
Maybe next week we'll both have watched or read something that we're actually excited about. I will make that
not until the 22nd.
I will make that my goal to try and find something actually exciting to talk about for the plugs next week. Maybe we'll actually like the episodes next week too.
Hopefully.
We weren't really excited about anything at all this week, were we? But we should start getting excited because I looked ahead.
Ooh.
And next week will be obviously the start of season 2, Blast from the Past, parts 1 and 2, with the Legion of Superheroes.
Yay, I know them.
And I just realized I got to send out some messages because the week after that will be Speed Demons.
Ooh.
So we got to get in contact with the Podcast of Two Worlds, our good friends Trevor and Chris, and see if we can get them on for that.
Yeah.
Also, I still need the message Frank and Amanda about doing Batman and Harley.
That's fine. When we don't
busy.
have our superhero movies, we really don't talk to them very much.
I know we don't. So but hey, you know what? 2 excuses to do some
crossovers.
hangouts, and then what? I think we're gonna try and do Kingsman.
Yeah.
We should absolutely do Kingsman.
Like I said, I'm not going to be excited until the 22nd because that's when Kingsman comes out.
So excited for that movie. So excited.
I know.
But until then, you can find us at Timm Talk Pod on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and I will try and put up some cool articles about the animated series.
Yes. Thank you for all the new subscribers that we got. I don't know.
Yeah.
We got probably a good 10 to 12 for the anniversary.
Yeah, I know. We've been getting a little bit of traction. It's really exciting.
So if any of you guys are
love
new
that.
listeners, thanks for listening.
Yeah.
If you made it this far.
You appreciate it. Yeah, you don't really bother with the back catalog. Except for the Comic-Con episode's pretty good. I think that's probably one of our best ones. And I'm at Lordifer on things if you feel like you want to be interested in my life, which you shouldn't be. It's pretty boring. I moved. There you go. It's exciting.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You can find me at camdexter_adventures for my face, and for my art, you can find me at Cameron.Dexter.
And you're actually doing some exciting shit. You're getting some more of your Disney animations up recently, which we were talking about. You went and ran in the Disney.
I did the 10K.
10K.
Yeah, I was like a fit person.
I know.
Which has gone to shit this week.
Fuck it. It happens.
It's fine. It's over.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
The Nerdist School Network. For class and show information, visit nerdistschool.com.